Yo, what's up? So this is in response to Kevin Pitt's YouTuber challenge, the Tuber Tag Challenge. So Kevin Pitts asked 10 questions for Mixed African Cichlids members that he tagged, and the challenge is to answer those 10 questions, come up with 10 questions of your own, tag 3 other people. So here we go, answering Kevin Pitts' questions. What's up, brother? So number 1, what lake do you prefer your fish from? Lake Malawi, easy. I like some of the Lake Victorians, Lake Malawi. Number 2, what is your favorite fish in your tank right now? Definitely my Super VC10. He's a badass little fugger. He's gonna get even better. Number 3, what is the fish you would most like to have in your tank? For me, at this point in time, it's the living stone eye. They're just cool looking, great colors, cool hunting technique. Check them out. Number 4, do you prefer a community tank or strictly male tank? I have so many tanks. I've got community here, I've got community there. My main tank out in the living room is an all male tank. So, yes. Number 5, do you prefer an open scape or natural rock look? I think it's pretty obvious. I like the rock. I like going out and hunting rocks, finding rocks, and stealing them from Mother Nature. Okay, so there. Number 7, what kind of food do you use? I use Northfin. Let's see it right there. I also use Tetra floating pellets, crab meat, some algae wafers. I use zucchini and squash, de-shelled peas, maybe once every 2 weeks to a month or so. So I use a lot of different stuff. Northfin is really showing promise. I really like this stuff. Shout out my man Jay at Northfin USA, son. What kind of filters do you use? For me, filters are, it's like a tool bag. Use what you use, which works for each individual tank. All of them are different. I experiment, so I've got different stuff going. This tank up here has 2 hang on the backs. It's got a sponge filter and it has a canister filter. This one here, my Angels tank, it has under gravel filters, it has a sponge filter, and it has a hang on the back filter. This tank over here, that's my 90 gallon. It's got a sump. I turned the sump light on so everybody can see it. My main 55 tank, it has sponge filter, it has canister filter, and it has a hang on the back filter. So, I use a lot of stuff. Like I said, it's a tool bag. Use what you want for each specific application. My quarantine tank, I used to run just sponge filters in it, but I like to get more current flow, so I started using the hang on the back filter for it too. And whenever I don't have it up and running, I take the filter media out of that and I put it into another tank, or I take some of the filter media. I take some of the filter media out of one of the other tanks and put it in the quarantine when I need filter media in there. Number 9, what got you into the hobby and what keeps you still in it? I grew up on a pond and on a lake, so I was always fishing. I had a really cool neighbor named Mr. Bodie who kept several fish tanks, and he had some 75 gallons on his front porch. I used to catch some fish, mainly like sunfish, perch, and I would put them in his tanks. And he caught me one day throwing fish in his damn tanks, and he started teaching me stuff about them. So that was like around 5 or 6. But I wouldn't say I was actually in the hobby until I was about 11 or 12. That's when I got my first 29 gallon tall, and it's been a whirlwind ever since. Number 10, challenge. So I got to challenge 3 other MAC members, and they got to answer my 10 questions, come up with 10 questions of them, post their own video. There we go. So I was going to challenge a lot of people that came to my mind almost immediately, but I want to challenge some new people. Throw you into the fire, as they say. Give you a chance, is another way of saying it. So my first one is the crazy AQUARIAN African cichlids. See what you got going on, bro. My second one is homie from town I used to live right close, down in Orlando, Florida. I'm talking about my man, Brazilian Fish Keeper. And of course, my third is somebody who has a pretty cool tank, at least one that I know of for certain. And I like some of his videos. I like what he has going on. I want to see more from him. Throwing this challenge your way, my man Manny Fresh. So there we go. So here are my 10 questions. Number 1, how often do you do water changes? For me, I have 6 tanks running right now. Yeah. So I do water changes like every day, every other day. Every one of my tanks gets hit at least once a week. I would say on average 2 to 3 times a week is normality. What dechlorinator do you use? That's number 2. I use Prime, and I use a product by the same company of Cichlid called Safe, which is a granulated form of Prime. Both work great. It's just that Safe is a more money strategy kind of thing. How many tanks do you own? I have 9 tanks right now. Yeah, I've got MTS so bad. How many tanks? This is number 4. How many tanks do you have running? I have 6 tanks running right now. Number 5, do you DIY stuff? DIY for as in do it yourself. What do you think? Do you think I DIY stuff? Yeah. I even made a freaking ladder to reach the top of my tank. Okay? Of my double tank stand. I'm crazy, I know. What do you like to, number 6, would you like to see some DIY videos? I do a lot of stuff. I've made a few things. I ran a contest, about 5 or 6 months ago, where I gave away a free heater controller, which essentially was a digital controller. You plugged your heaters into it, you set the temperature, you set your heaters to the max setting, and once they're plugged in, this temperature controller would turn them on and off. I mean, if you ever have a heater malfunction and it locks and stays on, and you come home and your tank is 98 degrees, you know what a problem this can be for your fish. They don't like it. So this digital heater controller that I made, I gave one away to a friend of mine that has not been on M.A.C. in quite a while. You know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah, you do. I'm not going to throw his name out there because it'd be kind of rude, because he's got a lot of stuff going on right now. But he won. And I mailed it out to him, and he paid nothing. I mean, I mailed it out to him. He's got it. He's using it. He loves it. So I need to make another one for my man Kevin Pitts. I know, bro, life has just run me down. But you need one soon, because it's getting to be winter. What was that? Oh yeah, so y'all want to see some DIY videos? Holler at me. Drop some stuff in comments. Give me some ideas what you want to see, or just tell me you want to see some. Number 8, what would you say is the most important advice you've received? For me, it is patience and trial and error. If you have a sick fish, you can't go trying different stuff every day because you're nervous. You'll kill them. You got to stick with something, see if it works, give it time. Same thing with new equipment. Research, find out, be patient. Don't jump on the newest thing, buy it, and regret the hell out of it. Also, buy used stuff through Craigslist. It's been proven to work that way. You can go to the dude's house and be like, hey, did it work good for you? They'll tell you, hey man, I'm selling it for 15 bucks, it's a piece of crap. Or I'm selling it for 25 bucks because I've had it for 7 years and I'm moving and I don't need it anymore, but dude, it's great. You get good advice that way, or at least knowledge. How long have you been in the hobby? Like I answered just a few minutes ago, I've been in the hobby since I was 12, pretty much what I consider constant, because that's when I actually had my first tank, not just picking up fish and throwing them in other people's tanks. So for me, it's like 32 years now. What is your biggest difficulty? Your absolute biggest difficulty? Mine's water changes. Yeah. When you have a $270 water bill and you don't own a pool, Okay, so there we go. Kevin Pitts, I'm iron. Everybody, I'm hoping to get the 150 running, but it's all about that fetty, son. You ain't got it, you can't buy shit for your tank. So there's my challenge. There's my 10 questions. My peoples was in backwards order this time. Manny Fresh, Brazilian fish keeper, and the crazy aquarian African cichlids. I'll put all these questions down there, 1 through 10, and y'all have a great evening, great morning, because it's now 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna crash. Peace from Toycar, Foushboy. Sigh.